You bought a house and you're planning electrical rewire. Now the question is where the sockets will be, and I would like to discuss with you several advices which I would like to pass that to you regarding the placement of the sockets. The first thing you need to take in consideration when you decide electrical rewire is the furniture. Think about the sizes of the furniture. I know it consumes a little bit of time, but it's worth it. And please do not just rush to do electrical rewire, but engage yourself to discuss to see where the furniture will be. And pretty much the furniture is about the same. In IKEA you can find the measurements, and even online, and that room you have that will help you to understand about furniture. The second step you need to know that you need to look into every single bedroom. Every bedroom, it's different sizes. So you might have a single bed, double bed, or king size bed, or super size king size bed, so forth. Now take the clear measurements. Use a tape, which can be any tape you can use, which clearly glues to the wall, and mark exactly the edges of your bed, and also determine how big is the side bed cupboards. That will determine your position of the sockets. You don't want to end up having your socket behind the bed or too much behind the bedside cupboard if it's possible. Not all houses, usually you buy a bed, you put there bedside cupboards, and that's it. There's no room to play. If there would be a room to play, that will decide the furniture you have. So we discussed now the step 2 you take in consideration when you do electrical rewire. On the step 3, I would like to advise you to take in consideration the hallway and landing. Not big deal. On the hallway, just one socket. Upstairs, landing, one socket. But where is the best place? The best place is away from the staircase. As you approach the staircase from downstairs, ground floor, you don't want to have the socket right against the wall there. You would like to have somewhere else in case you plug in the vacuum. You don't want to have that cord laying down. And the same on a landing, you want the socket away when you come down or come up from the staircase. This is very, very crucial, and you can ask your electrician to make sure he takes in consideration this aspect. Now let's go to the living room. So the living room is crucial. How many sockets you might need? You would say 2, you would say 3, you would say 4, you would say 5, I would say even 8. Well, 8 is upon your decision and your needs. Behind the telly, you need to know exactly what you'll have, what kind of cupboard, what kind of units you will have there, and what will be supplied. If you have just 2-gang socket, which will be this case, 2-gang socket, you will be able to plug in the telly, and you will be able to plug in, let's say, internet router, and that's about it. And if you have the sound box and you want to put a gaming box there, then you need another 2-gang. So advisably, at least 2 double sockets to be installed behind your telly, but if it's possible to go even for 3 double sockets, because it will not hurt anyway, it's behind. If your telly is high level, then you will need to consider to put a socket somewhere behind a high level. Also, we will have another video speaking about the height and what is the best height and the position of the socket. So I said 8. Now, you have sofas. Let's say you have normal, regular 2 size sockets for 2 people on the one wall, on another wall. Automatically, you want a socket on each side of the sofa. So you have already 3 double sockets, 2 double sockets on each side of the sofa, so makes up 5, and then you have another sofa, makes up 6 and 7, so about 7. And if you have around the window, you would like to put a socket to make sure that you plug in a lamp on your window sill, so that makes up 8. This is the case in my property. Might be too much in your case, but please take in consideration all these little things, not to end up with a lot of missing parts. So you want to know, whenever you have your sockets, they're convenient to you to access. This is all we want to emphasize, that you make sure you look into the future and you benefit from this. So we discussed all these 4 steps. Now the practical things which people don't think, and I would like to throw this idea into you, is where your vacuum will be charged, because these days we know that most of the vacuums are battery. So you would like to have a place where the vacuum will be charged. Just imagine you thought about a certain place in a kitchen or hallway on a cupboard, but you didn't thought about the socket. You'll end up running an extension lead over the table or somewhere on the floor to be able to charge, or later on you think, let me call an electrician to do that work for me, and the expenses will be much higher than to take that in consideration prior to that, where your router will be. So let's say you want to move the router from behind the telly somewhere more towards the middle of the house, because that allows the signal to pass equally in your house, but you need a socket. So it will be good to take that in consideration of these aspects. So this is just little things, but they will become a very big things whenever you move in. Rewire is done and sockets installed, but they might be in wrong place. You don't want that. You want them in the right places, and I hope this video is useful to you, and may you use it and you talk to your electrician. Now you have ideas and you will appear like a professional yourself. Thank you.